Today I'm gonna be watching or react to Trick or Treat. I watched this time. This is my second time watching it. I just hate the first part, but because it's actually kind of scary. So
2007 movie, written and directed
I'm
by
just gonna
Michael Dougherty.
look
Trick or
away
Treat
when it
consists of a series of
needs to.
intertwining vignettes that take place on Halloween night in the fictional town of Warren Valley,
Dang! I'm sorry if you get so annoyed because of this pause and that. They get very annoyed.
Ohio, a place that just loves to get its trick-or-treat on. Loosely connecting the stories is the burlap-sacked, kid-sized entity Sam, who's happy to be an impassive observer until he sees the spirit of Halloween being rejected, at which point he'll step in to personally intervene. Although it doesn't have any single overarching story, Trick-or-Treat is a true treasure of a film, not taking
What the fuck? Little Sam. What the fuck?
itself too seriously, but also never trying to be too cool with detached irony. It's a sincere film that lovingly explores various Halloween traditions, and you know what? It's got a pretty high kill count to boot. So grab your favorite candy bar and let's get to the kills. The movie begins with a grumpy robot. This lady Emma, who's complaining to her
I'm
partner
just
that
gonna
Halloween
look
is
away
late.
because
She
this
pulls out a
is
jack-o'-lantern despite him saying it's ancient tradition to leave them lit, and takes off her robot costume right there on the sidewalk. All this bah humbuggery attracts the attention of someone with a glossy field of vision who runs across the street towards their house. After she finishes
just gonna
roboting
look
on the
away from
porch,
the
Emma tells her man she wants to take down the decorations right now. Lady, are you serious? Look at your house. It's literally going to take hours to put away.
Damn.
Halloween. Yeah, well, you must hate getting a good night's sleep too, because this is about to take you all night. But she presses on in her anti-Halloween crusade, stopping only when she sees a Jabberwocky across the street that scoops her out. But false alarm, he's just waiting to get picked up to go to dance practice so they can nail their performance at Horror Nights this evening.
I'm just gonna look away
real
from
threat
this
for
part.
you is that ghost. Nah, just playing. It's not ghost. It's something inside the sheets that starts tearing at her and knocks her out to the sidewalk. It takes a bitten off lollipop and slits her throat with it, which scares these trio of kids away. Get out of here, you bunch of clowns. Emma becomes our first kill of the movie, just 4 minutes in. Shortly thereafter, her man finds her body beneath a sheet, hung up and dismembered, and with that yummy pumpkin lolly in her mouth. The opening credits are in the style of a comic book, since Wildstorm Comics had originally planned to release a related comic series alongside the film. Although the comics were delayed, the opening still gives us a nice little preview of the vignettes to come. Then we're taken earlier that evening to a news report talking about how fucking bonkers this town goes over Halloween, like they're that place in Hocus Pocus or something. A little kid pervs on some girls in changing rooms, which is weird because he's like 6. But also
Okay, let's skip this part.
it's sad that she's a 22-year-old virgin. Wow, this really might be the town for Hocus Pocus. And Marie and Janet seem just as obsessed with getting that D, since they ask these random guys loading up a news van out on dates to the party. A couple of van beers later, and this party's ready to roll. Danielle reluctantly agrees to leave Lori behind to go find her own date in the streets of this crazy Halloween party. Meanwhile, Charlie, played by that kid from Bad Santa, is walking down the street doing his best Billy Corgan impersonation. When he goes to steal some candy from an unsupervised porch, he's caught red-handed by the owner of the house, Principal Stephen Wilkins.
Don't waste a good lie on this.
Wilkins makes him sit down and eat his candy while he talks about carving jack-o'-lanterns and other Halloween traditions. He must be a bad storyteller because Charlie starts having a physical reaction, gagging and burping and making all sorts of disgusting sounds there. What's going on there, Chuckster? Something you forgot to do?
Always check your candy.
Yeah, I think he forgot to do that, which is why he sits there doubled over, puking up blood and or chocolate. I don't really see the joke there, but Wilkins sure is having a laugh, probably because he's the one who poisoned all that chocolate. With that, Charlie dies, slouching over to Wilkins' lab for our second kill of the movie. I guess that's one less kid to process paperwork for at school, right, Steven? Wilkins' corpse removal is interrupted by a knock at the door. It's a trio of trick-or-treaters, and they ask him for his jack-o'-lantern as part of a scavenger hunt. He gives it to them, along with some candy, and after they leave, there's a cute little bag-headed feller who Wilkins also gives candy to. You don't know how much of a right decision that was, Steve. You don't want to get on that kid's bad side. Wilkins goes out back and uncovers a grave containing another body, but before he can heave Charlie's down into it, he gets interrupted again, this time by his son Billy, who's just yelling his goddamn lungs out about how he's done trick-or-treating. Then, because this segment is a black comedy of errors, Wilkins gets interrupted yet again, now by his neighbor, old Mr. Krieg, who overhears when the other body in the grave starts screaming and moving around. Krieg walks over to the fence and hidey-ho neighbors Mr. Wilkins, asking him what the hell is going on. Wilkins is able to talk himself out of the situation and tries to silence the body for good, but gets interrupted once more by Billy, screaming about carving jack-o'-lanterns and asking to go with his dad to the parade later.
No, Daddy has a date.
Billy goes away and Wilkins seems to be in the clear.
But don't forget to open with the eyes!
Jesus, Billy, you know what? Halloween is canceled. No more Halloween for you, on account of your screaming into the night sky like that. With the coast finally clear for really reals, Wilkins takes a shovel and delivers an overhead smack to the shuffling bag, giving us a kill that cuts away immediately, but at least we get to see him watering the grave. That's nice. What's not nice is the way Wilkins is mocking his own son. He seems real friggin' annoyed with that kid, so it's troublesome when he grabs a knife and heads downstairs with him.
Oh no, I'm not gonna see a little child die
She
today.
lifts up her hand to find out she's bleeding, like kind of a lot there, and that this dude's got fangs. Hot damn, do we got a vampire on our hands? She runs away from him and towards the parade in a very I know what you did last summer like shot, but unlike Sarah Michelle, this chick actually makes it to safety. But her victory is short-lived, since her pleading for help is rebuffed by the Grumpy Tron 9000, who mistakes her for just another drunk hoodlum with fake blood all over her body. Masked Man shows up behind her and whips his cape over her for another off-screen kill, resting her body against the storefront to look like she's just passed out. You know, like people do all the time in public streets at crazy Halloween parades. Masked Vampire Man walks off into the night, presumably to find another victim. With a wagon full of pumpkins in tow, the trick-or-treater kids are led by Macy to a cliff overlooking a rock quarry where she regales them all with a Halloween story.
thought this
It's a
was my
sepia-tone
friend.
tale of a bus full of 8 kids who are described as so troubled and disturbed that their embarrassed parents bus them to a school miles out of town to keep them hidden from sight. But once upon a Halloween, the driver takes a different route, one that passes a cemetery in Sam, straight to the abandoned rock quarry that Macy and co are now standing in. Turns out the parents were sick of dealing with their dirty little secrets and paid the bus driver to kill them all. And it would have worked too if not for these meddling kids, especially this Dracula who realizes they aren't where they should be and tries to drive the bus home on his own. He only manages to get it moving in a straight line that goes straight off the cliff where it falls and sinks into the water below. The 8 children are killed as their masks float away along the surface of the water. They all get added to our list, although I'm not sure of their genders, while the driver is spared. He makes it out and, according to Macy, was never heard from again. Macy's plan is to leave 8 jack-o'-lanterns by the side of the lake as an offering to the kids who die. She and the other 2 alpha-most kids descend on the elevator first, and when Rhonda and Pirate Boy follow a little later, they hear the first 3 kids screaming and watch as their jack-o'-lanterns go out. That doesn't stop Rhonda from stepping out of the elevator to go see what happened. She tells Chip not to let the jack-o'-lanterns go out because they'll protect him, then heads out and finds herself staring at a school bus half sunken in the lake. This creepy image that corroborates Macy's tale only gets worse when a hand reaches out to grab her leg. Creatures emerge from the water and Rhonda runs back to the elevator where she finds Chip on the ground getting his guts good and nommed on. After she really Velmas it up, her blind ass gets cornered by the creatures, all wet and bechained, and Rhonda falls backwards off a ledge into some water, getting knocked out as the creatures lean over her and stare. When she comes to, she learns that the creatures were just the other kids, and that Chip wasn't even dead. Those are probably just nasty cold hot dogs around his neck. Schrader finally learns what empathy is and says that it's about time these ramblers get rambling, so they should pack it up and leave. Over by the bus, Macy kicks the last lit jack-o'-lantern nearby into the water, which immediately proves to be a mistake when they start hearing spooky noises. Sure enough, looks like we got some zombie kids on our hands who giggle as they shamble towards the 4 mean kids. During the retreat, the chains on Sarah's costume get hung up and she's dragged away by the zombie bus kids, who temporarily stop their pursuit to get their murder on. The other kids reach the elevator where Rhonda has locked herself inside, safe with the final lit jack-o'-lantern. She goes to let them in, then is all psych and hits the button to go up by herself, waving bye-bye to them as she ascends. The kids are cornered by the zombies and killed off screen. Their screams and some nasty wet tearing noises filling the rock quarry as Rhonda walks away from it all completely stone-faced. Sam shows up but is happy to leave Rhonda alone, for she is true and has the Halloween spirit within her. Meanwhile, Lori's been walking around looking for a date but having no luck, which is pretty hard to believe since she's friggin' sucky. Danielle calls her saying she has a backup date for Lori, but he's a little too baby oopsie-daisy for her. While she's on the phone, Lori notices the masked killer from earlier staring at her, and later when she's walking to the bonfire party by herself, he pops up out of nowhere and attacks her, slamming her up against a tree and biting into her neck like a freaky vampire. Danielle and the others at the party, worried about Lori's whereabouts, scream in horror when a body in Lori's costume falls from the tree. When they check it out and lift the hood, they find that it's the masked killer, who's now gasping for breath and begging them for help. Lori shows up to the party looking much more like a little pirate wench, and she tells the rest of the ladies, that dude bit me. Maria goes over to him and takes out his fake fangs. You're not a real vampire at all. You were never a real vampire. In fact, you're just a high school principal, Stephen freaking Wilkins. Man, you've had a busy night. Steve does have a good question, though. Who are you people? And then he discovers for himself. Let's see, we got a pirate, another body lying there. That's cool, I guess. Oh, that's one of the news van dudes. And, oh shit, it's a wide shot and there are a lot of bodies here. I actually paused this and went through it a ton in slow motion. And all in all, I think there are 9 bodies here, including the 2 van guys, the cashier, the big baby man, and 5 others. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. This number makes sense to me though, since there are also 9 girls other than Lori at this banger, and after all, they all need a date. And Lori's date is Stephen Wilkins, who ain't going nowhere on account of a broken leg. She climbs atop him and gives him fair warning.
It's my first time, so just bear with me.
Then, to a sexy montage scored by a Marilyn Manson cover of Sweet Dreams Are Made of These, the ladies at the party strip down and transform. Lori straight up unzips her back, and she and the others start tearing off their own skin in delightfully nasty shots. They're becoming shagadelic werewolves, baby. Do they make you horny, Steven? No, just terrified? That's cool. You'll make a tasty snack either way. As Lori feasts on Steven, Danielle howls at the moon in victory, since Lori's finally lost her were virginity. Sam sits there and watches it all, which makes me a little worried about his development. This is not for young eyes, mister. If, you even have eyes. We do another time jump to earlier in the night, when that one trio of trick-or-treaters from the opening visit a house only to get scared off by glowing eyes and growls emerging from the dark. Get out of here, you bunch of clowns. Turns out it's just Mr. Krieg and his pup, and he hates Halloween. Krieg hates everything about this holiday, up to and
You guys, I'm gonna be making part 2, so if you want to see the rest, we're almost done, but it's okay.